Hi everybody. So welcome to the code walkthrough session. This is the first code walkthrough session in fact. And we'll be looking at some Python package. I'm not really sure. I think I actually have a package in mind because it's the first session. I'd like to start with something simple. Something not too intense so that I don't make a fool of myself in the first show itself. So yeah, that's I think like I haven't looked at the code per se, but I know sort of what it should be. So I think let's jump right into it. So the first thing we should do is go to GitHub. Yeah. Actually, we should operate in incognito because otherwise. Oh, this is an amazing Kubernetes Bangalore meetup I'm going to tomorrow. Oh boy. Come on. It is being weird. Okay. Some. So I think we can go to explore. Topics, right? I think we can go to Python. Voila. Yeah, so I was talking about this amazing package. I think we can start developing this. October, today is November. It's been more than a month since somebody merged code onto this. But it's got new issues and all that stuff. Somebody's opened an issue right now. I think we can target this. This looks like a good issue to fix. Let's park this for now. Let's just look at the code, go through it once. Right, so httpie I use it not every day. I use the Emacs REST client more, but oh, by the way, Emacs has this amazing this thing for anybody who's interested. It's pretty darn awesome. It provides a REST client. It's actually a HTTP client which you can operate from within Emacs. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, HTTPI. So it's a modern command line HTTP client, user-friendly curl alternative with intuitive UI, JSON support, syntax highlighting. I think they have a really nice page, the web page. It's pretty cool actually. internet has been really slow, but I guess we won't be needing it too much after we get the clone ones. So httpie is a command line, blah blah. So yeah, it's like the same request in curl is a little complicated, but in httpie it's pretty simple. Sorry. Awesome. So I think we can use this. It's got a lot of features. Let's just go through the features once. Express intuitives in text formatted and colorized terminal output. This is something I've been really interested in like since a long time. How do you colorize the output? Built-in JSON support. Some live uploads. HTTPS proxy and authentication. Arbitrary request data, custom headers, persistent sessions to do it like downloads. Python 2.3 support. Linux, macOS, Windows support. Begins documentation, test coverage. This looks like a good software package to hack on. So I think this is really simple. I think it would be relying on the built-in urlib library, which is a part of the standard, library in Python, or maybe requests. It wouldn't do a lot on its own, I think, but I think it's a very good example of a simple tool which makes your like a very common thing simpler. Like making HTTP requests is something you do every day, right? So I think this makes it a little more simple, and so that's why it's popular. It's insanely popular, by the way. 32K stars. It's amazing. So I think we can go ahead and fork this. Oh, I got a few organizations as well. So I can. Oh, it's done. So now I think I can just go ahead and download this. Get clone. Now I think I'll have to use HTTPS because this is my work machine and my SSH keys aren't configured to work on this machine. Like on my personal PC, I have my SSH keys, but here they are my work GitHub account grids, the keys. So I think it won't work directly out of the box. I actually should figure out how to use how to add in both the SSH keys to my machine. Okay, but for now we'll just use this. So actually I need to put in my terminal up here. Awesome. Hey. Oh yeah, the incognito. I think that is something that shouldn't be very difficult to do. Uh, because when you clone, you don't really need creds, right? You can clone a public repo out of the box. But when you start pushing, you need to change the git files, the config files in the .git folder to sort of use not the default SSH key names but your specified ones. I think I'll get around to doing that someday, but today is not that day. Right, so just a second. I think I need to hide this because this is distracting me. Awesome, so I've hidden my uh, my OBS so that I don't see myself basically because it's a little distracting. Okay, awesome. Let's get to work, man. So yes, we are here in the home directory. I have an open source directory that has some projects, very ambitious projects. It has CPython. It has CPython. ICMP tunnel is a really cool project that I found, but I never really worked on it. Email to get. I think this tracks what. I think I read an article on LWN about this. LWN.net about. I think this is used to track the email, which discusses the kernel patch based on the hash of the commit, something like that. Kilo is a text editor by Antiris, the guy who wrote Redis. It's a text editor less than 1,000 lines of code. Linux, of course, the kernel. Ta-da. I don't know when I'll be able to contribute to Linux, man. So right now we're starting off with really basic projects like httpie, right? I mean, it's pretty simple, but that's okay, I guess. We'll probably get on to more interesting projects with time. Oh, Notes is my own repository. I write notes there sometimes. Python 101 belongs to a very good friend of mine. PYMC3. I think these guys do Monte Carlo. I I I cloned it when I was studying machine learning. Redis, of course. Requests. Oh yeah, requests. Another package I'd like to look. I'd like I'd like to hack into. This looks like a really cool project. R spamd. This is a C project which actually is a spam filter. It helps you. It helps you. Like if you have your own email web server, like Hillary Clinton, probably you can use R spamd to sort of filter the spam out. Scikit-learn, of course. Scrapey. Scrape is a web crawling framework. Scikit-learn is a machine learning. It's the most popular machine learning library in Python, I think. Ren is a language. So this guy is it's a interpreted language written in C, of course, and it's amazing. It's not very huge. It's like 4 to 5K lines of code. I like to hack into it someday. Probably I don't know when, but someday. Zulip is a like if you want to do it in a line, it's like open source clone of Slack. It's pretty cool. Yeah, actually pushed some code to Zulip and to Scrapey also, but like very minor things, not really. No big features. Let's change that to httpie. So I actually have a hub. So which hub? If you do which hub, it says uh, it's a binary and VRSN. It's made by GitHub. It's pretty cool. It sort of is a complement to Git. So Darshan. Oh, I think this might not work. Oh, sorry. So if Hub knows about your yeah, this is my official account, so I cannot do it. I have to provide my DARSH. I have to provide the whole path to get the fork, but that's okay. So we have our copy of the code right now. Let me get some water till this happens. Oh boy, look at the speed, man. This is crazy. I actually have a pretty fast internet by like as internets in India go. But it seems like since we are live streaming this, it's taking longer than it should. Can I use the web interface to go through the code? Let's go through the README, of course, yeah. So yeah, I know what it is. What are the main features? So pretty cool, man. These guys have a good README with syntax, blah blah. Hmm, unstable version, master branch. Okay, HTTP version. HTTP. So yeah, I think the format is I think you can use pip install upgrade to okay to get the .gc. Okay, anyways. So the thing is, the format is HTTP, the verb, and the URL, and then probably headers, and then the data if you have any. So dash F is for submitting forms, of course. Okay. Hmm. Where are we here? Uh, oh, we are done. Dash A is for verbose, dash A is for authentication. Oh, so you do not have to put the verb, I think. So I think the order does not matter. You can do it anyhow. So this is authentication. Then do a post on this repo, and then put a body, and then of course that's sort of the emoji which is part of the body itself. That's pretty cool. Upload a file, redirected input, redirected output. That's pretty cool, man. Dash dash download does the download. So I think hmm, appreciate the parental syntax for printing your parameters. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. So if you actually have like if you have, you construct, if your endpoint takes query parameters, you can actually use this syntax, query string parameter syntax to construct URL. That's pretty cool. URL shortcuts. Yeah, that's nice. HTTPS equal to default scheme HTTPS. Other protocols for other protocols in HTTP. I'm not sure if these guys support things like FTP or something. I think it's just related to HTTP. I mean, I think it's just limited to HTTP and HTTPS. I don't think I'll support something else completely different from HTTP. You can check that. Request items. These are key value specified after a URL. So this separator, right? It sort of determines what. Hmm, so you can give it key value pairs, and the separator determines what it is. So if it's like a single colon, it's a header. If it's double equals to, it's a URL parameter. Request data fields to be serialized as a JSON. Oh, that's pretty cool. If it's normal equal to, it's a normal JSON, or if you pass the dash F flag, it's a form. Usefulness in JSON and one or more fields need to be a boolean, a nested object, or an array. Example means. Okay, that's pretty cool. So if you have like nested JSON or complex JSON, you have to use the colon equal to syntax, and the default equal to won't work probably. And then you have form fields. Okay, presence of results in a. So you can also upload files using the at the rate field at the rate file path. Apart from the redirected input thingy, of course. That's pretty cool. You can use to escape the shouldn't separators, for instance, will become a data key value pair. Right. So this is pretty cool. I mean, it's not like httpie cool. It's just like Unix cool. But what is happening here is these guys, right? If you use this, will be sent as JSON unless you pass the dash of flag. Okay. I think we should also create an environment for this thing. So make virtually env httpie. So yeah. What else? Quote the values bars any of the fields, so it just starts with a minus. When the field names or header starts with a minus, example field name, you need to place all such items after the special token dash dash. Okay, so dash dash, like things after dash dash are like weird stuff, right? You can put them there. Okay, JSON is a lingua franca, the language of. I think it means the default language. It's probably Latin, of course, but let's see what it means. Oh, I forgot that. Language that is adopted as a common language between speakers whose native language are different. Oh, it's a lot of languages. That's pretty cool. Oh shit. I hope, yeah. Okay, cool. So you have the put example. Default is JSON. This both JSON. This is pretty cool. Some data request items as by default also says the following headers, both of which can be overwritten. Okay, explicit is following dash dash is explicit except regardless of whether you're sending it's a short purpose in the header by the usual. Okay, yeah. Additionally, HTTP will try to detect JSON responses even when the content of it is to explain or unknown. So it got a very clear bias towards JSON. I think that's what makes it famous because like most of the times when you use a HTTP client, I don't know, it's mostly JSON, right? Because you want to look at the response. Like you cannot look at the source, like if it's HTML or JS or it's minified JS also. So you cannot make sense of that way. Or else you're just downloading stuff like probably movies or YouTube videos or some stuff like that. But mostly if you aren't downloading stuff, it's mostly JSON. At least for me it is. Non-string field values use the separator which allows us to embed raw JSON into the resulting object. I did not quite get that. So I think here, like I won't look at the format. I think this is JSON, obviously. Yeah, you have this here. Age is JSON. That's pretty regular till now. Married, false, hobbies. You can use this to explicitly say JSON. Okay. I'm not sure why they put it here. Like why they had to put the colon equal to here. It's probably because it's in the same line. And then you have description. Oh, this syntax is for form data, right? Yeah, this is form data. I think I read that somewhere. This is for data fields. Oh, actually, it need not be a form data. It can be data field. It can be serialized as a JSON object. That's fine. but if you pass the dash f, it will be serialized as form data. Okay, and you can also pass files, JSON files as like values for the fields. So you have equal to colon equal to at the rate. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So bookmarks is here. Okay, that's a JSON. I guess I should provide like what the files about John and bookmarks.json look like. It will be helpful. That with this syntax. So yeah, I think that's fine. Form data, submitting forms is there. Some of the differences in the adding the form itself. Serialized as in content time is set to application. So I guess like the two main ways to send data over to the server, right? It's like one is JSON, and then the other way is to use uh, the form uh, flag, which sets the it sets it sends over the data as a as, which serializes the data as a form. I'm not really sure what that means. I think I'll have to look at the request responses to see what it actually means. But it's like either you send it as JSON or you send it as form serialization. So I think it's the difference lies in the way it's encoded, right? So these guys, both of them, have to be part of the headers. Actually, they don't. So if you have get parameters, it's part of the URL, the like the requested resource. Then it's part of the header. But if you sort of serialize it as a as a file multi-part upload or as a normal form, I think it goes as part of the request body itself. So after the headers, the main content, that's what it goes as. The data is there. And you can also serialize it as JSON, and again, I think the data is there. So it probably just depends on how you want to sort of serialize it. JSON is of course human readable. Uh, I'm not sure why people would use like the form thingy. I think it's either it's not binary for sure. At least like the multipart obviously has to be binary because mm, like if it's an image, it's encoded in that whatever format you're sending it in, JPEG or PNG. That's fine. That's encoded as that stuff. It's binary, right? But otherwise you can say normal uh, key value pairs. You can say username equal to foo and password equal to path. That's like a valid uh, form or data, but it's just not JSON. I think I'm not sure of about what the trade-off is. It's more of I think JSON being new compared to form being the old way to do things or something like that. I'm not really sure. Because of the F flag, the equal to means the form serialization. That's pretty cool. So content type is set because it's set to this because you use dash f. Oh, if serial content type is multipart form data. So file field, of course you can attach a file, right? So dash f is normal post. That's cool. Name is this. Okay, and then you have cv is the file path. Cv at the rate is the file path. That's actually pretty cool. Note that at the rate is similar to file upload form field, whereas it just embeds the file content as a regular text field value. Whoa, that's a very important distinction. So at the rate, just at the rate, just like sort of sends it out as a multi-part form upload thingy. But if you use equal to @, then it's actually, put into the request. The content of the file is put as the value of mm, the value, key value. So the value of the value is the file content if you use equal to @. But otherwise it's like sent as upload. HTTP headers. Yeah, you can use the colon syntax for headers. That's cool. Couple of default headers. Okay. Oh, you can insert headers as well. Of course, okay. There's auth. The currently supported authentication schemes are basic and digest. There are two flags that control authentication. -A, pass username password pair as argument, or don't specify username, you'll be prompted for a password before the request is sent. To send an empty password, pass username. Okay. Mechanism. So it can often be omitted. So you have two ways to sort of authenticate yourself. There's also auth plugin. Let me look at that. I'm not sure if these are externally built plugins or they're sort of not very stable, so they aren't part of the main library or something. API auth. Additional authentication mechanisms can be installed as plugins. They can be found in PyPy. Request hawk. I guess one more way to sort of contribute to httpie would be to build a auth plugin, Let's look at this. API auth authentication system. So that reminds me, children, right? This really amazing guy I know. He wrote a plugin for httpie. It's called what is it called, man? This guy's been writing a lot of blogs right now, it seems. But it's called http something. I'm very tired today. I don't know why. Oh, he's written two actually. I used this for some days. Yeah, this is it. I think what it does is it hits the new token endpoint or something like that. Yeah, API new token JSON endpoint. That's very nice. Anyway, so you have a basic and digest. Basic auth. So I'm really not sure how the digest auth works, but the basic auth is, I think what happens is you hit the endpoint. I think I should make notes about this, right? Like something that I would like to do. So I think the first question I have, right? It's httpie. The first question I have is very simple. How does the program parse the key value pairs? That is for explicit JSON, is for JSON default, but form data if keeping the dash a flag. So this is what I would like to know. Also, the second part is, I think, how does the basic digest or thingy work? So that'll also be a nice experiment thingy. Like I know the header for basic which gets set. It is base. It's authorization basic, and then base 64 coded. I think it is username and then token value or some stuff like that. I'm not really sure if it's exactly that, but it's something like that. Okay, password prompt is that netrc. Oh, so netrc seems to be a. I think curl also honors this. Curl wget. These guys honor netrc. I'm not sure, but I mean I've heard about netrc somewhere. I'm not sure what it is exactly. Like I think curl uses it. FTP commands. It seems it's like it's a pretty standard thing, right? Everything curl. So I think it's a pretty standard file, and so it's good that httpie honors it. Okay, then the plugins of course redirects not followed. You can pass the -f flag to follow it intermediate, and then you can pass the all flag to show all the responses. You can have max redirects to see how many redirects to. Default is 30. Proxies are awesome. No, I'm just a little fidgety today. I don't know, I'm tired a little bit, I think. Like, oh, it's been 40 minutes and we haven't started coding, man. That's crazy. And this is supposed to be a very simple project. You can specify proxies to be used through the proxy argument for each protocol, which is included in the value in case of redirects. So redirects across protocols. The proxy argument for each protocol. Value in case of redirects across protocols. Okay. That is actually pretty cool. I'll go through it up in the code. With basic authentication, user pass, environment variables. You can also configure proxies, environment related proxies, HTTPS proxy, and request library. Pick them up as well if you want to disable. Oh, so these guys use requests. That ought to make their life very simple, it seems. Okay, socks. Install socks proxy support out of the box. Enable socks proxy support for now. What is socks proxy? I never heard about this thingy. SOCKSPRXY. Proxy server software. It's a protocol, man. IP suite application layer. Internet protocol that exchanges network packets between a client and a server through a proxy server. SOCKS 5 additional provides authentication so only authorized user may access a server. So I'm not sure if I think like how it works. I mean, I understand how the idea of it, but like, do I set up a SOC server and serve random requests from random strangers, or are there like proper dedicated companies that do it, and I have to pay them to proxy my requests? And if it's like a peer, like a common peer-to-peer thing, like I mean, I just serve random people's requests. Why should I? What's my what's my incentive? And I can also track it probably because like if I'm the proxy server, I will know what is being requested and by who. So I can use that data to I don't know, sell it or something. Maybe configured as SOX proxy. Okay, I think we are just digressing now. Sorry. It's just a proxy server protocol. Let's say. I think I'll look more into it. So this raises an important question because what I would like to know is uh, how does the brew, what is it, brew installed? httpie support SSPR others don't. Oh, verify no. Certificate verification. These guys do certificate verification as well. How cool is that, man? How does the certificate verification? Oh man, I can't spell. Thank you, Emacs. Some CA bundle path. What is a custom CA? So, like, I know certificate authority folks give you a CA bundle, a certificate bundle, which is used to sort of establish the authenticity of the certificate or stuff like that. Client side SSL certificate. Another certificate for pass the path. You may pass the path. Pass the path of the key file. So why would a client need to give the SSL certificate? That's crazy. If like it wants to show to the server that the client is who it says it is, it probably will do that. Hey, is the idea correct? Because then this is how the Google crawl bot would be working, right? For example, companies like LinkedIn wouldn't want everybody to crawl their data, but they'll want the Google crawl bot to work, like to be able to index their websites. So I think they'll ask the crawl bot to identify itself with the certificate, and they would have like whitelisted that certificate, so only the crawler is allowed to get the data. If that is true, we are screwed. Like I don't want. I hate this thing about big companies and like like general development that I mean it's getting more restricted in its openness. It's a closed system.